really do appreciate you guys taking the time today. I'm really excited to talk to you. Not just about AACTA Fest as well, but about just sort of what you guys do and the career, I guess, you guys have had, because I've obviously followed your content for a little while now, but then going back and doing a little bit more of a look-see, I guess, is that 15 years ago was the first YouTube video you guys put up with Great Garage Battle, right? And I think one of the things I love the most about that is that I know a lot of content creators who remove a lot of their stuff, right? But there's something about keeping where you started on that channel to see, so we as an audience can see your progress over that time. If you can take me back to 15 years ago and sort of like the genesis around not just that video, but content creation in general, what was the inspirations behind you guys wanting to just start making your own stuff?
Honestly, it's because I wanted to be in Star Wars. Because pretty much just like any person my age, like I was obsessed with Star Wars, Pirates of the Caribbean, Harry Potter, all that kind of stuff. So there's like a million different great garage battles.
Yep.
We've found going back that there's a bunch of other videos of us sort of reenacting scenes from Pirates of the Caribbean or other movies like that. But yeah, that's just our way of having fun. But we just happen to have been recording it and uploaded it. So
yeah, we've always been into like special effects and special effects, and I just, you know, we were recording ourselves, and then I started looking up on YouTube tutorials how to do lightsaber effects, how to do all these kinds of visual effects, and making videos as little effects tests. And then it just sort of, we kept doing more and more videos with effects and things. And all our old stuff is still online. I didn't think, I kind of felt like it was better to have it on there because it made it feel a bit more like authentic and like, you know, I feel proud that, you know, of how long we've been doing it, and like that we, you know, started a long time ago. But yeah, a lot of those just started as a bit of escapism, wanting to try out cool special effects and stuff. And then we've been doing it pretty consistently. So it just has started from there, and then, you know, we've slowly gotten better and better.
So I used to just star in a lot of the videos. So there's a lot of times when I think I got a bit too confident in Lachlan's abilities. I don't know if you remember this, Lachlan, but I invited a friend over and I was like, yeah, let's film like a Jurassic Park video. You can do dinosaurs, right? You can do dinosaurs. So we filmed this whole like 5-minute, 10-minute epic about us being chased by T-Rexes around the house. And then when Lachlan got home, I was like, here you go. You can do the T-Rex effect now. Lachlan was like, I don't know how to do that. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know how to do that?
There are a lot of videos we didn't put up because they were too hard to do at the time. Like we had this whole like science fiction one planned with like spaceships and stuff. And we were like, yeah, we'll work out how to do it. And then we never made it because they were too hard to do.
And the funny thing is we still carry that attitude until today. There's a few times when we're just like, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
That's kind of awesome though, because like it kind of seems like there's a literal sky's the limit sort of mentality to what you make. It's you always hear about, you know, James Cameron's like, you pick up a phone, you record, you're a director, right? And like that seems like that's the mentality with the content you guys have created over so long. And what's that journey been like, I guess, over 15 years? How has the creation of content, both for social media, whether the feature films you guys have worked on as well, how has that changed, not just in a media landscape, but for you two as well?
Well, probably, I guess, like when we started doing YouTube and stuff, there was a sense of like, I don't know if you feel the same, Austin, but there was like, like in 2010 or 2011, there was such a thing as like a YouTuber. And YouTube was very much its own thing. And people associated YouTube with, you know, like someone who's like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Whereas I guess
lifestyles, right? Yeah.
Stuff. Whereas nowadays, like it's a bit more diverse in terms of like the types of content you see on there. So there are, you know, there's YouTube shorts. There's also like 3-hour-long video essays about like really niche topics that people love to watch. There's sketches. There's like challenge videos. So I guess it's become more like there's more stuff on it. Like there's more diversity, and so there's probably like more room to do different types of videos. I guess what I'm saying is like when we started out doing videos, they were pretty much like YouTube comedy sketches. Whereas nowadays we probably don't think of them as much as like YouTube comedy sketches. They're more, I guess they're still YouTube videos, they're still online videos, but they are probably more, you could probably see them more as like short films or as just videos in themselves. Do you feel the same way, Austin?
Yeah, I completely agree. Our last YouTube video actually was just a short film that we made. Like a competition. Yeah.
That was the Uber short film, right? Was that last one?
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting as well, seeing how far content creation has come, and I'm assuming with the AACTA Festival and the Careers Day as well, we'll kind of be looking at where the future is for that as well. Where in just in the next 1, 2 to even 5 years, where do you see this content creation game? Because it's rapidly changing as a consumer, but as creators, where do you see it kind of going for yourselves in the next couple of years? And then following on from that, what sort of wisdom do you want to impart on people throughout this AACTA Festival as well, that you really want them to sort of hone in on for that?
The goal for Austin and I is to use YouTube and social media and this kind of content to jump to hopefully traditional media. Not we're not saying that we're going to abandon social media, but definitely we're using it because we want to get to a point where we're making like long form things like films and TV shows. I looked at your Instagram and I saw that you did an interview with the Racker guys.
Yeah.
They're sort of like a big inspiration to us as people of also brothers who
made that jump.
Yeah, who made that jump from YouTube to filmmaking. And there are a couple other people who have done it who aren't necessarily Australian, like Joe Pena, Mystery Guitar Man.
Mm-hmm.
He was like from that original generation of YouTubers who's now, he made that film with Mads Mikkelsen.
I mean, there's a whole precedent for it now. You got people like John Watt, David Sandberg, and like I used to watch Daniels in middle school, like their sketches on video.
Everything Ever All at Once.
And now they've like won an Oscar for best directing, which is wild. Yeah. So for us, because I used for the last 2 years, I used to work like in traditional media in the industry. And just doing this sort of on the side. And now that I've taken this up sort of full time, well, I just really love YouTube because it's like a training ground.
Yes.
For me, it's the closest thing that we have to, writing scripts, directing films, and we're the creatives and also the distributors.
It's the easiest way to distribute things nowadays. Like if you put a short film out into a film festival, 100 people might see it, and then and the next month, 100 people might see it, a different 100 people might see it. And then, eventually in 2 years, you put it on Vimeo or something. But if you put it on YouTube and you market it on Instagram, like, hey, this new short film is coming out, and you build hype around it, and you really, you use social media as its main point of distribution, it can get more.
Well, there's different benefits.
But there's different benefits. Yeah.
Yeah, I find that, so we've been doing YouTube for, 15 years, but we
only seriously in the last couple.
Yeah, we started short form at the start of 2022. And I actually did find it really interesting how a lot of people saw that, and rightfully so, because like we weren't big before we started doing short form content. A lot of people see that as us beginning, whereas I'm seeing us as this is the result of 10 years worth of practice. But I personally think I think we get better with every video we do. At least I hope we do. So I think that just goes back to how it's like a training ground, really.
Yeah. And I guess probably like in the future it's going to be less like, as I think there might be less of a sense of YouTubers who become filmmakers or filmmakers who are once YouTubers, and it's just sort of treated as like a way of distributing stuff. I mean, there's always going to be a divide between like theatrical movies and like YouTube videos. But, for like when we mention like, Racker or like John Watts, like the guy who directed the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, he has like a YouTube channel that people found with like comedy sketches on them and stuff. And it's like, well, you can't necessarily call him like a YouTuber, but like he was making stuff beforehand and putting it on there. So like, whether or not you call him a YouTuber who became a filmmaker or a filmmaker, like it's a bit blurred. Like even someone like Donald Glover was like a YouTuber before he was an actor, or Bo Burnham, yeah. So I feel like definitely there's going to be like a sense of, it's going to be bit more like legitimized, probably. That's
awesome.
Yeah, probably what I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then in regards to talking about it as a training ground as well, obviously with AACTA Festival coming up and then the Careers Day and the Careers Expo, that feels like probably an essential sort of training ground for people who were in your shoes that 10 years ago, who were trying to hustle and make their way through. You know, if there was something like this when you guys were first starting out, how beneficial do you think it would have been to you guys? And then does that also add to the importance of anyone who is going on that weekend in February as well to be an essential part of their journey as well?
Yeah, I think like, I wish that this was around when I was, you know, trying to get into the film industry, which wasn't that long ago. I think particularly like, basically the idea of the Careers Expo is it's all on the 11th of February. It basically runs all day, and there are these different sessions, sort of covering different elements of film production. I think a good one to go to would be the Life on Set talk, because, you know, being like on set is a set is an environment you can't really learn on your own. You need, you know, it's like even Austin and I, like, making videos and films for this long, like, being on a proper set with a team is not something that you can do yourself. So I think that will be a really valuable talk for people to go to if they're looking to be, you know, a grip or a runner or a you know, gaffer.
I think that's a common sentiment across pretty much everyone in the industry. I mean, we both went to film school. And I don't think this.
And we've been on film student sets.
Yeah, that's right. But like going on my first feature film set, like I learned more in that 2 weeks than I did in 2 years, essentially. And I don't think that's a controversial thing to say, because that's obviously that's the point. That's what you hope to do. But yeah, not only that, but I think the fact that there's such a variety of different talks at the AACTA Festival, I think that's helpful. Because when I was sort of entering the industry, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I liked making stuff. And it was only after going to panels and going on sets and whatnot and talking to people did I actually realize where my interests actually lied. So that's what I'm excited for. I mean, I've been saying this before, but I've been sending Lachlan stuff about AACTA literally all year, before we were even involved in this festival. So I've been very excited about this. I think it's great.
And the majority of the sessions are free. You just have to register. So it's like there's, you know, if you're a aspiring film crew member from Brisbane, you just need to click, you know, on the website and then drive an hour to the Gold Coast, and then all these wonderful people can impart their wisdom.
It's a huge lineup of things as well. I've been looking at all the events on the Sunday. I'm like, oh my God, they've got some insanely knowledgeable people from the industry. So I'm going to be there for most of the weekend as well. So I'm looking forward to it just myself as just a keen observer. So I think it'll be really good. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I have just one question I need to ask, because I was lucky enough to talk to Lisa and Jay about the Emu War a couple of months ago. And I know that there was visual effects work done on this film. I just want to ask about that experience, because that is a batshit crazy movie with some insane, but what was that experience like? Because I had such a fun time watching that film, and Lisa and Jay were so lovely during the interview.
Yeah, they were awesome. Yeah.
That
was pretty crazy. So we actually we joined quite late. In the post-production stage.
They ended up being more effects and stuff than they'd sort of planned for. So they brought us and I think another or two more VFX guys on towards the end to, you know, speed up the process and get all these effects done. And originally we were only doing like one sequence, and then in the last couple of weeks before the premiere, it was like, oh, hey guys, like, can you actually do this and this and this? And, you know, we were happy to do it. But yeah, it got pretty hectic, but it turned out pretty good. Like,
we did all the cave. We did the cave scenes and like the bars and that stuff.
And I also got to voice an emu, which was pretty cool. So in the scene, in the scene where dude is like they're disguised him as the Italian, and they go up to like the emu guard, and the emu guard's like, "What's the password?" Like, that's my boy. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was just a really weird experience because Lachlan and I, we watched, like, we'd seen all their work before, and we'd seen their stuff years before.
Yeah, Hot Dad Productions.
Yeah,
And
so that was very surreal.
When I was first getting into like Aaron Drops as a comedian, I was like, who are these Hot Dad Productions that he does all his stuff with?
Yeah, so that was just so wild.
And a lot of it was out of context as well. Like they did send us the whole film to watch, but we were just like, oh, we'll just look at the
and even in the film, sequences. I don't think it made any more sense.
Yeah. and it was like, okay, well, we're just working on, and then occasionally we'd like skim over to another bit and be like, what's going on? And then like, but then and then like it all came together in the final film. But one more thing I'll add is like when we were first doing a Zoom call with Jay and he was explaining the scene, he was like, he was like very formal, and we're like, hey, nice to meet you. Yeah, good to work on this film. And we're like, oh yeah, so could you explain what happens in this sequence you want us to do? And he's like, yeah. So basically, these characters have to have a threesome so that they can burn the bars on their prison cell. I was like, excuse me. So,
what a pitch!
Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah. It was the tone was going like wild.
Yeah. And I think that was in the finished product as well, because it's a wild movie. But look, I like I said, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to chat today. I'm a fan of your content and the work you guys do. I'm excited to see what career you guys have